Hey, everybody. Welcome to HODL the Line. BC, how's it going, brother? I know, you're just getting in here. How's it going? How was your day?
It could have been worse, honestly. But can't really complain. And if I did, who'd listen?
Right. Facts.
It could always be worse. But
Amen.
you had a week off. So how was your week off?
Week off, yeah. Week off my normal schedule. You're right. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And it wasn't quite a full week, but still. Yeah, but I'll tell you what, that was great, man. That was great. I'm just getting the last of the back behind the scenes stuff done here. I love these like local regional conferences, even here's the thing. Like the first day, it wasn't too bad. I mean, by the end of the day, there were maybe, I don't know, 150 people there or something like that. Second day, like double that. Third day, it was like a packed house. It was like everybody decided this is the day to show up. And in actuality, in my opinion, they missed all the good stuff on day one and day two, if you ask me. But, whatever. But yeah, it was crazy. Day one was so packed on that main stage. I literally took a break when they gave a break to go to the bathroom, stood in line to get to the bathroom. By the time I was done, I couldn't even eat. It was like right back for the next presentation on the stage. It was just bam. But it was worth it, man. It was absolutely worth it. I'm going to the Free State Bitcoin Digital Asset Conference on Columbus Day weekend in New Hampshire. Anybody going? Let me know. And I'll tell you what, I'm super excited about that one too. So yeah,
that sounds a lot like how the Bitcoin conference was. Day one, it's all kind of dead. It's just more like the industry people. So they set aside a day for the industry people, and so it's like super dead. Not very many industry people take advantage of it, but like there's a lot of networking you can do, and there's a lot of good talks that happen that first day because it is to people that like have a bigger understanding.
Exactly. And that's what I didn't want to leave the main stage area. I really didn't. I literally didn't even get any networking done that day. But listen, today, guys, I know we haven't really even talked about what we got going today, but we're joined today by the Desert Lynx, otherwise known as Jöel Valenzuela, coming on in here. We didn't even expect you for another 10 minutes, so you can go eat. No, I'm kidding. Welcome, sir. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. What about you? Sorry for the crazy hair. I was just doing jiu-jitsu, so it got all messed up with people trying to choke me and such.
There you go.
That sounds fun.
I'm glad they didn't take you out and you had to end up in the hospital there.
Awesome. How long you been doing that?
I don't know, 5-6 years, something like that, just on and off.
Okay.
Keeps me, I would say keeps me in shape, but I'm not in shape, so it attempts to keep me in shape.
Well, I mean, round is a shape. Everyone forgets that.
Yes. It's like the Fibonacci shape, like
there it is. Yeah. That's funny. Well, I'm glad you were able to make some time to get here today and join us. We literally have breezed over what we're going to talk about today. Haven't said hi to the chat or anything like that. So if you don't mind, we're going to take a second to go and see who's here and say hey. Let's see who is here. I know Joe was first. Yeah. And all proud of that. He's usually not first. I'm just saying. So it was good to see that. Trade intuition in the first spot. What's this? I would listen and sure, really don't care. I care. I feel the same way. No one cares.
What?
I think he was talking about the conference stuff.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just talking. I was giving my.
It sounded like he was talking smack about the show, and I'm just like, why is he doing that?
No, Joe wouldn't do that. I just wasn't sure. We talked about a couple of things, but yeah, the conference that makes the most sense from what he's saying. It's well because I was saying how like the first day there wasn't so many people, and the second day there was more people, and then it was like everybody decided they were going to show up on the third day, and it was like I don't know, that first day. I was telling BC that I literally didn't leave that main stage area except when they took a break. I waited in line in the bathroom, didn't have time to even grab a bite to eat, and literally went straight back and got all that info that was on the main stage. Those are some great chats and stuff that first day. And then, of course, Jöel was the keynote on day 2. So that was awesome. And that's when I actually got to finally meet him in person. So that was awesome.
Yeah,
what would you say? What were your impressions of that conference?
So here, I think, first of all, I was impressed. It was kind of a local sort of a conference, not like one of those big international type things. And it was professionally run. And it felt like one of the conferences that I usually have to get on a plane to go to. It was well done, well run. And one of those few things. So like, I was going to speak anyway. And then I just put in on the Dash behalf a token sponsorship as well. At the end, like on the last day, organizer goes a beeline right up to me. He's like, "Hey, so like, what did you think? Was it good? Did it meet expectations? How was it?" And that's always a good sign, because I've been to lots of places where people care less or don't care at all. Right. And the attention to detail really showed. So if you're somewhere in the greater New England area and you don't want to like get on a plane to fly someplace, I would definitely, I'll be back next year, is I guess my point. It's
same.
It's a good conference, and I was surprised with a lot of people that I've met from like elsewhere that I've seen like across the country, in different countries. Some person I ran into used to subcontract he used to work for a Dash organization out of Thailand a long time ago. I'm just like, oh wow, small world. So like, definitely good conference. It was, and I did sort of enjoy that the name of the organization running it was Cubic, an AI
Cubic
startup,
Lab,
which is very topical because there's an AI project called Cubic, which is in 51% tacking Monero into oblivion right now. So that's a little bit of hyperbole, but you get what I'm saying. Anyway, sorry for rambling, but yeah, that was my impression of it. It was nice.
Well, I mean, you've got a lot of experience. You've literally gone to conferences around the globe, so it's good to have your perspective. I don't know. I like these regional ones. I mean, I know I got to get my butt to one of these, like the Bitcoin conference or something like that. But this one was like perfect for me. This was literally my second conference, so it was perfect.
Which was your first?
Free State Bitcoin Digital Asset Conference last year. Which was honestly a good one for the first one because of its intimate nature. You know what I'm saying? It was beautiful where we were. It was actually outside, and it was just amazing. And I actually felt like there was enough time throughout the day to actually do a little bit of networking, introducing myself, that kind of thing. Like I said, the first day here, I just felt like I can't leave this thing. I'm going to miss something. So
yeah. Well, are you going this year?
Like to New Hampshire? Yes, I will be there.
Yes. Fun fact, that'll be my first one that I'll be at, because
no kidding,
I wasn't there last year or the year before because both of them happened to be timed in a time that conflicted with annual family travel, and I just couldn't make it. And so now this is the first time that isn't. So yay, you get to tell me what it's all about.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. This is the last year, like I said, was outside, intimate type of thing. This time they've actually got a facility. They rented, I'm guessing, a room in this help me, resort or whatever. And that's what it looks like. And so I'm interested to see how that, one for the other plays out. So I know we're talking nothing about what we said we were going to talk about, but we're going to get to it, I promise.
Just one of their previous conferences was downtown Portsmouth at, I think, was it a Hampton, or it was one of those hotels down there. And so I remember that one. The location for this one is the Wentworth by the Sea, which is a very nice place on Newcastle, which is a fun little island there. So like, if you're looking to, it's kind of like a dual, like, advertise the New Hampshire Seacoast or Greater New England Seacoast, I guess, and crypto conference at the same time. So anyone who can make it to that one, I would highly recommend you go.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's worthy. Just a couple of quick shout outs. Melissa made it here. Appreciate you, Melissa. And BC, you saw what Joe was saying about, he was actually talking about your comment. And of course, Automatic Beats is here. Appreciate you. Let's see, who am I missing? Jay Violet is in the house. Appreciate you, Jay Violet. If you're a channel member, Jay Violet emojis in the chat. And Tech Man has made it, of course. Tech Man, appreciate you being here. Yes, excellent. All right, well, maybe we should start talking about Thailand a little bit, and then I see this. We'll get some of the facts out, and then I see this honestly being a kind of wrap session with regard to what's going on and how people can make it better. You guys feel free to just slap me around and tell me that's not good. Listen, I went and did a little bit of research. So let me just kind of bring some stuff up. I'll give you my TLDR on it, and then we can kind of get into it. As far as I'm concerned, Thailand has what I would consider to be a very mixed view of cryptocurrency. This article is on my website. You can go find it today. Links are to everything I'm talking about in the description. I wrote this article back in 2021 because they banned meme coins and NFTs. They basically, decided that Doge and Sheeb, not for them, because they have to protect their peeps. Again, that was what, 4 years ago now, something like that. And then beginning of this year, let me bring this up. Here we go. Beginning of this year, I think it was April of this year, they put forward this movement to actually have tokenized government bonds on the blockchain. And as of a few weeks ago, which is what this is highlighting, they're closer to launching what they're calling their G token program. And it's going to be, according to this, the world's first publicly offered tokenized government bond initiative. So again, go do your own research and so on. So now you got the original banning stuff. Then you got them moving into, putting their government bonds on the blockchain. And then I think it was yesterday, I'm looking and I'm like, what? Thailand's freezing 3 million bank accounts. And initially there wasn't even any real information about it. But according to the highlights of this, basically, they've frozen 3 million bank accounts that they're saying is because they're trying to combat, scammers. But basically, as it lists here, regular users, small businesses, expatriates, because I can see being an expatriate out of Thailand, are being affected, or their bank accounts are being affected. Obviously, Bitcoin is probably, the one with the biggest reach around the globe. And so obviously a rise in interest in Bitcoin in particular. And it does list here some, there are other cryptocurrencies that are also being like, hey, give me some of that. So that's the TLDR of it all. Did you guys want to go into any other detail of that? Otherwise, I'll pull this off the screen and I figure we can kind of hammer it out a little bit.
No, well, I would like to touch on the fact that like a lot of this we have been seeing in countries like this where there are big scam efforts. It's also a big thing in like the UK. Yep. They'll get young people and they will use their bank accounts to blackmail a company, and they will have the money routed through their bank account. They get paid out. That's what these muling accounts are. And so any bank account that then touches that bank account could have been for legit purposes before that person ever did the muling, is now impacted. And so their economy has taken a little bit of a hit in just the few days that this has been going on.
Oh, heck yeah. And I don't know if Bitcoin is the one that should be the alternative. I mean, what do I know? And Badel, welcome. Appreciate you making it, bud. I know you have been sick for days, so thanks for getting in here, bud.
Oh, yeah, it's no problem. I don't know if you can tell my voice, but...
Oh, heck yeah.
This is day 5 of being sick, so...
Well, keep those germs to yourself, dude.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing we're not all in person.
I know,
My
right?
boss,
Yeah.
my boss started giving me a little bit of BS this morning because I called off Thursday and Friday. And I was like, well, just so you know, this is day 5 of me being sick. And he just heard my voice and he's like, hold on a minute, stay away. I'm
Yeah,
like,
exactly. It's that time of year too.
You want to give me, crap? Well, at least this is proof. But enough with me.
Yeah. So Jöel, you're the guest here today. What would you like to kind of start off with regard to that info there, or if anything, throw out your 2 cents, I guess, your 2 satoshis, as it were.
Yeah, my 2 duffs. So first of all, just as some fun context, the I would say a lot of the Dash developers are based out of Thailand and that kind of area.
Oh,
so,
no kidding. Okay.
Yeah, so I guess I can ask firsthand, like if it affects any of them directly. Of course, as like international type people, I'm sure they have plenty of resources and ways of spending anyway. But it is kind of interesting with Thailand because it's one of those kind of like, I don't know if I'd say like Dubai of the East kind of vibes, where it's a very it's a place that very much attracts and even markets to foreign tourists and expats and people to live, and has a very, I guess, like free and open way of life and stuff like that, that is also, attractive to people looking for, fewer restrictions. But then at the same time, we have to remember it's a monarchy where you could literally go
Right.
to jail for insulting the king, which I don't know who he is, and I don't know enough about him to be able to say anything if I were to go. But
Right.
so there was a very vibrant crypto scene in like the 2019, 2020 kind of era. There was hundreds of merchants that were accepting cryptocurrency such as Dash in the downtown Bangkok area. And I know some people that just did it all the time. A lot of those things sort of got shut down during COVID because of just businesses weren't open. But then after that, then it became restricted to actually use crypto as money. So with all these things, I think with freedom money such as this, there's a lot of ways this could go. And I think governments in the West, I mean, even though I wouldn't say in the West they're doing particularly great, they at least feel more restricted in what they can restrict. Whereas other ones are just sort of like, ban this, this isn't good. Oh, wait, we should allow this. And sort of the last point on the tokenized bond offerings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So they end up cracking down on like the casino, basically, right? The meme coins and NFTs, because it could be used to defraud and be bad for people. And then eventually they're just like, these people are making how much? We need to get in on that action. And so then they start tokenizing their own things and being like, hey guys, and we saw something, I guess a much more bald face version of this in the US, where the crypto, the Biden administration was very like heavy-handed on this type of thing. And then the Trump administration, like the Trump family in particular, has just been like, let's just like ring it for all it's worth,
Yep.
Just
a la
like
Trump coin. Yeah.
Yeah. And just World Liberty Financial and all the other things, just the floodgates kind of thing. So it's kind of funny how like that's like the life cycle. It's like the first, where like then they join you kind of phase of crypto and a lot of these things. And I hope that once the government's in on this, they start to be like, all right, now let's just kind of let the people get in on their own fun. But one can hope.
There you go. And when I first saw this news, and I know guys just push me out of the way, I know I'm dominating the conversation here, but when I first saw this, the first thing that came to my mind is, they're pulling a Greece, and they're going to be like shutting the doors on the banks. They're going to scalp everybody's bank accounts, and then they're going to reopen in 5 days. And then now they're coming out. Obviously, this is what was the latest news article I could find, basically saying this is regarding scams. But that was the first flashback that I had. Now, assuming you take the government at its face, that's not what's going on. But I mean, the other thing that comes to mind is Canadian trucker strike. I mean, hello, we're locking people out of their accounts. Guys, thoughts about that? Am I off base? Are we believing the government here or what?
Yeah.
Well, I think the reason that they gave is pretty like a pretty valid reason for doing an action like this. I'm not saying it's the right action to take, but seeing the rise of scamming in the way that we've
Oh no,
been
that's
seeing it
true.
in our modern age, uh, these drastic means like this were bound to be taken eventually, especially in a country that has less freedoms, where if we decide that we want to do something like lock 3 million accounts, there's a little less ability to be able to push back. Whereas then you saw an immediate pushback when they locked the truckers out of their accounts in Canada.
Right.
But if they tried stuff like that here, there's even a more harsh pushback where it's like, hey, this is America. I might have someone of power that could reach out, say something. Where when we saw people debanked with crypto, there was an immediate pushback, and a lot of these people immediately got back into their accounts. So, I don't think it was the right choice to make, especially considering your economy is now taking a hit. Small businesses aren't able to transact, which is the lifeline of your country's economy. That there might have been better means to take. But I do love the fact that it is a giant push towards crypto. All of these countries, all of these businesses keep acting in very shitty ways that just prove to people why you need cryptocurrency, why you need decentralization, why you need the ability to move money around or transact with the everyday person without an intermediary.
Yep. They did it because they could. Kind of sums it up pretty much, I think. Well, BC, let me start with you, and then we'll jump over to Jöel. Do you think that Bitcoin is the right answer to this particular question? I know you're kind of a maxi, I'm just saying, but
I mean, you can transact pretty well with Bitcoin if you have the Lightning network. I do think
you need Lightning.
For peer-to-peer, there are probably better options. Not that I'm a fan of something like Solana, but Solana would be a very good option if you want to transact with, say, like a stable token. Or if you want to use XRP, also not a big fan of it. You have Litecoin as well. There's a whole bunch of options for peer-to-peer where you don't have like the drastic volatility that you might get with Bitcoin and the slowness that you might get of the Bitcoin network. Right now, and I'm a Bitcoin maxi, but I'm just using it because nothing else has really proven itself as a hold of value. And that's where I put all of my profits go into Bitcoin. So that's how I use it. I rarely use it to transact with someone unless it's like, hey,
they only want Bitcoin kind of thing.
Well, my buddy's like, oh, well, I'm going to edit this photo for you. I'm like, hey, I'm going to pay you, but I'm not going to pay you in a depreciating asset. So here's a little bit of Bitcoin. And that'll get that's how I've gotten a few friends into Bitcoin. They provide a service for me. And I'm like, here, let me pay you in a non-depreciating asset. And then you hold this for this amount of time. I told him, hold it for a year. He finally took profits at like 120K when I did. So the $10 that I paid him last year was worth considerably more.
Sure. Yeah, it's gone up quite a bit since last year. And I love the fact that you mentioned Litecoin. Litecoin has always been one of those ones that I like to transact in. Just putting that out there. Jöel, what about now? Is Dash big there? Because you said you got a lot of developers there. Is it a big part of the economy for crypto?
I would probably say yes, it definitely was a few years ago. It's hard to tell, like again, you see transaction volumes on the whole, you see kind of like when there was activity, and if they haven't dropped off, you kind of assume that they're kind of still that way. From what people tell me, it's still kind of a relatively big one in the Thailand area as well as in the Venezuela area. Funny enough, one of the biggest mysteries of the last few years is we've seen a massive increase in both Russian language visits to the Dash website and Russian App Store downloads over the last several years, and then people who own significant holdings in Dash and start to vote in governance proposals and stuff.
Right.
Well, significantly more of them are, Russian language people, or, some speak decent English, some don't, right? So it's a big mystery, and I've asked them many times, everyone that I know well, they don't really, I can't really answer, like, why are you guys all here? Like, where did this happen? And that's with decentralized networks. You don't get to just be like, oh, we're going to target this market and just be saturated over here. Sometimes they just show up because they like it and it works for them. And I'm guessing that with a lot of the conflict in the region, I know that there's a lot of people who are kind of like have had disruption there from people who, obviously people inside the borders of Russia or Ukraine, for example, but also just people in general who are like Russian citizens living in Moldova, for example, or or fleeing Russia and things like that, or Ukrainians abroad. And just there's a lot of like disruption that would cause, people want to look for private payment methods. And so that kind of works out. And a lot of developers I know a lot of the Dash developer world that's in the Thailand area are Russian as well, or Russian, or from that part of the world in some way. So there must be some kind of a connection between all that, I would say, because that's the only thing that really makes sense to me. And they won't tell me. So there you go.
Okay, appreciate that input.
Could it maybe be something like with the Canadian trucker strike, where they were taking payments in Bitcoin, and then they shut off all the Bitcoin payments? So now maybe that said country is using Dash or another blockchain to transact with.
Yeah, that could be it. Another theory I have is, first of all, there was a lot of developers so the Dash monthly budget that comes out is from the block reward. So it's denominated in Dash. So therefore, the price of Dash is up, it's up, down, it's down. And so there was a time when, there's a contraction in the budget. And then it's like, well, what kind of developers can you still afford? And it's like sometimes people from, not Western Europe or the US necessarily, but like people from the CIS region. And so when you have it's like a lot of developers in there now, it's like, oh, that kind of creates a circular economy there. Also, I do know there's this one pretty big like Russian YouTuber who happens to really be a big fan of Dash, and I've been like on his show like I think once, and then he dubbed me over in Russian and stuff. And that might have been, it always takes like just one big influential people, or KOL as they call them these days, to just kind of crack into a market like that. So again, it's like the great mystery that we can kind of piece together. But then again, like, what are some why is it that especially like the Central Europe part is like really Bitcoin and Bitcoin Maxi, especially like you have a lot of like Switzerland and Germany and places like that are like really like that. And then, other places like Litecoin seems to be very US based, a lot of Americans in Litecoin. And it's very fascinating to see. I'm sure, again, as always, I'm rambling again, but it's just something that's kind of interesting of who ends up in which crypto and how and why.
Yeah, no, that would be an interesting study to see where those pockets are, where those regions are around the world. That's interesting. Guy, and for everybody who's just listening, if you've got a question, throw it in the chat. We'll do our best to answer it. So that's what I got up on the screen. Guys, what do you got? Oops, wait a minute. I almost ended the stream by accident. That would be bad. That would be bad.
Did I upset everyone this much? It's like, this guy's so boring. We're done.
Yeah, but that's gone. Oh man, that would have been very bad.
No, I do. Do we have anything to talk about real quick? Because I do kind of have a question for everybody. Kind of going off of what I just said is, do you feel that certain parts of the world transact in certain blockchains rather than Bitcoin to be maybe not? I want to say more anonymous, or maybe just not as publicized, because, like the whole Canadian trucker scenario with the Bitcoin, then they just shut off all the Bitcoin wallets. So then, like say Russia or Ukraine, was using Dash, for example. I mean, do you feel like other countries or other parts of the world are using different networks to transact to maybe not be as noticed?
I think maybe. I don't think that people have gotten really cracked down on enough. So cryptos, I'm a big privacy advocate at the same time as I acknowledge that today in 2025, maybe definitely before, all crypto was technically, it acted like it was private because people just didn't figure out analysis tools well enough to be able to, connect people's stuff. So basically anyone using crypto was kind of private. I do know that around, obviously lower fee things tend to work in those kinds of environments. One thing I know is stable coins are really, now that they're a bigger thing, they're really taking over as the predominant way people pay with crypto type things for now until they start getting censored. And there's this fun map of Europe that's like, they say like potato Europe versus tomato Europe. It's just like the North versus the South kind of thing. And then there's kind of like USDC world / Europe and USDT world. So if I pay, like, for example, for work, if I'm paying some sort of an invoice of some kind for like a PR agency, and what they ask for tells me exactly where in the world they are sometimes. Because if they're like, okay, I want USDC on ETH mainnet, it's just like US, got to be US, Canada, something like that. And if it's like USDT on Tron, it's got to be somewhere in like this, the Eastern, like Georgia, the country of Georgia was one, and there's Latin America. It's just like in Africa, there's like that whole ring out that way. So you do find that. As far as like privacy, I found that like privacy is something that you will find people who really are consistently doing like very, I would say, like illegal type things definitely need some of that. But mostly the interest in privacy tends to be more Western world, I think, because it's people who are kind of ideological about it. Like they it's not like a practical thing to resist, for example, government tyranny and surveillance. It's just sort of like a ideological thing. Like they see it and they don't like it, and they're just getting ready because they have a belief system that doesn't like that. Whereas you'd say people in, say, Libya, and I actually do know a couple crypto people in Libya, are not so much getting hardcore into the Monero, because even though it might make more sense for them than someone in Germany. I know a lot of Germans who are into Monero, for example. So it's just funny how that shakes out.
Well, I could think of a few reasons in Germany. They have a really big night scene, and you might need to purchase something that you don't want other people to know about.
Yeah, I'm sure there's always reasons for privacy. That's the thing.
Yep. I agree.
I mean,
go ahead.
You
Sorry,
also
TC.
see, so like you brought up the whole Russia thing, where you also see a lot of centralized control in the banking in Russia. You see a massive deflating of their dollar's value in comparison. It doesn't hold up very well. It's sometimes not the easiest to transact with because of the fact of there is a lot of restriction. So that has been a more of a push towards crypto, where, hey, let me have an asset that's, a little less volatile. Because, I mean, you look in just the past year alone, yeah, their dollar's gone back up, but it was on a quick downtrend for a while. And that's probably a big reason you saw that giant push into like Dash more recently.
Yeah, it's highly possible.
What kills me is this information, stuff like this, and we've already highlighted Greece earlier. Badel talked about the truckers in Canada. We're sitting here in this stream talking about 3 million bank accounts in Thailand being locked up. I almost want to ask, what is it going to take before people start waking up to the fact that this could happen to you? And, what are you going to do to be ready if it does, and or maybe be preemptive before it does? I don't know. Anybody want to hash that out a little bit or what? I mean, I know I'm being probably a little bit, I don't know, utopian maybe. I don't know. Something.
I mean, probably an 08 style collapse again, or heavier restrictions on banking. If you see a CBDC where the government comes out and they're like, hey, well, this is how you transact. We'll tell you if you can or can't transact with your fellow American due to your social credit score being, in the shitter. I believe you'd see a bigger push towards crypto. We're like, wait, we never thought this would happen, but governments are meant and designed to grab more power. And when they do grab power, they are very, very reluctant, unless forced to do so at usually gunpoint, to give that power back to their people.
Facts.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting where we're seeing the Genius Act, which is the Stablecoin Act that was passed and I believe signed into law, that sort of enshrined a lot of the crypto rails for this stuff into it. I would say it's like a 50-50 from like the wild west of like stablecoin and like relative freedom there, and then like the banking system. So it's kind of like, it's like a semi-banky now. However, I've seen a lot of rumblings, and I know Coinbase CEO has been tweeting about this or posting, whatever they call it, that a lot of the banks are starting to complain. They want some extra provisions put in, again, like a different law to amend the Genius Act, because the yields are too high for staking stable coins, and they just can't compete with that. And they're just like, no, cap the yields, because something consumer protection, but really it's like we can't compete. And so even in this little thing, which I would not consider, like, no offense to USDC, I would not consider it a paragon of freedom, like a freedom tool, really. It's,
exactly.
But even that is like too wild out there, or it upsets the powers that be. And so, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. I do think that sort of like, just like we had, I'm a utopian in this way. I'm kind of waiting for like digital cash's moment, because we sort of had that as the idea in the early days, like 2009 to 2017 or so, like Bitcoin era. And then it was like, okay, well, maybe that's too hard. Let's just have store of value and do other stuff. And then now we have the second coming of payments through stable coins. And that's going to get wrecked at some point. I don't think it's going to go away, but the freedom aspects of that will get wrecked, as far as people will start to have their purchases surveilled and everything, and censored and blocked and all that. And then the third wave of where people go back to their roots, maybe that will stick.
And that was a lot of the conversation in that first day at that blockchain was they were talking about that putting it, these micro payments, that, whatever, connecting the fidelities and so on and so forth. And the whole KYC thing, it's just like complete antithesis of where we began. I mean, BC and I talk about this all the time. And BC, I'm sorry, I think you were about to ask a question when I interrupted you. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. So like you brought up a big point on the whole Genius Act, where you saw a lot of bank pushback, and the estimated number of losses on deposits is $6.6 trillion in deposits would be lost because they cannot compete with stablecoins. And if anything, I did a whole show on it, and I said, boo-hoo.
Yeah, it's like, exactly.
Why should I give a shit that you can't compete?
Wait. You're going to get whacked by the stable coins?
It'd be very, very easy for them to adopt these payroll systems and use them. It wouldn't be a drastic shift. You could very, very easily adopt these things, and it would make transferring within your own bank a lot quicker. You'd be able to pay other people in other banks very, very quickly. If you got a direct deposit with your check, it could be done like this. They fill out payroll, boom, you're paid at the day that they fill out payroll. There's not this giant gap period where it's like, well, we sent out the payments this week, but you get paid every other week. Like, that's how payroll systems work. You wouldn't need all of that. And they just refuse to compete. And I don't feel sorry for them. There's this whole new technology that we all see working every single day. And they could have had some pushback when they saw Bitcoin doing something. Instead, now they want to bogart Bitcoin and have Coinbase hold it for them, but never actually do anything with the technology. And so, no, I don't feel bad for you.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Anybody else? Any of you guys want to add anything else to that? And if not, I want to bring up a question the tech man had. It has nothing really to do with this particular conversation. That's why I'm asking. Anything else?
No, go ahead.
This is Tech Man's question, and I get it. I mean, it's not like a burning question or anything like that, but it plays to actually a conversation that I'm probably going to be having tomorrow on Crypto Princess's live stream tomorrow morning. Me, you, BC, and Joe, we're going to be there talking about, trying to put money aside, but I'm sure it's going to come around with like, family thinking you're crazy because you're in crypto. So I don't know. Anybody want to jump on this question right here?
First off, I just want to say, if you two are going to be on Crypto Princess's channel tomorrow, you got to put that link in the chat. Come on.
Okay, I will do that. It's not just
Cool.
It's me, BC, and Joe going to be on tomorrow. The three of us.
Well,
nice.
Either way, you still got to share the link, right?
I will go grab it. But anyway, whoever wanted to jump on that, go right ahead.
Well, I can go first, I guess, right? Trying to think of first of all, let's just acknowledge that forever, and I would say including right now, no one has, or few people have credibly been accused of being a Bitcoin shell. It's just there was this understanding in the early days that this was like the leader of the pack, and therefore, if you just relentlessly say Bitcoin's going to crumble empires and all this little stuff like that, that was just, you're into the whole tech as a whole. So people got to pass on that. Even today, I mean, if you're a toxic Bitcoin maxi or something, sometimes people give you grief for that. But for the most part, if you're a whatever, Bitcoin gets the pass from the shilling. I would say everything else. First of all, you just have to be ready for people to say that and not care if it's not true. It might be true. That's the thing, though. If you are a shell, maybe that you should be called one. But I think that generally being like fair and honest breeds credibility, and you can kind of tell that. So like you say, I like this because of this, and by the way, I also have a bag, for example. It's like, well, you didn't have to say that part, but you did. Well, you should have to, but you did. And sometimes when you self-criticize is another thing. Like no shill is ever, well, maybe the crafty shills, but no like regular shill is ever going to say anything slightly negative about the thing that they like. No one's going to say like, I'm a big Monero fan. I'm just like, I'm a little worried about how the network security is shaping up with these reorgs lately. I really hope they get that fixed, but I'm otherwise a big fan. Or they're just like, oh, Bitcoin's my biggest bag. It's going up, but like some of this stuff going on is like worrying. Then you're just like a Bitcoin pundit. You're not a shell once you like say, oh, well, this and this, but not that. And generally speaking, if you just say, I don't understand this, I don't know enough, so I won't say anything. I mean, everyone's supposed to, especially if you're trying to pretend like you're this like expert, so people subscribe and give you money and stuff. But like, if you don't know anything about this, just say like, I know that, I don't know this, I'm going to be quiet.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, that's a very valid point. A lot of people, enough people don't do that when they're just like, well, I'm just gonna, speak out the their ass. You see it a lot in the space, but how I handle it, I just buy Bitcoin and then I talk about the technology that I like in other crypto projects. So 100%, I hold 0 alts. So if I'm telling you about an alt, it's because I like the technology behind it, and I think it's worth taking a look at. I don't hold any of these, so I'm not trying to shill you any of my bags. I hold 0 alts and probably will for a few more cycles, until I actually see some of this technology being adopted as more than just this is a token that's going to 10x my bags for me. So that's how I handle that.
Okay, fair enough. And BC did put that link in the chat, everybody. So if you're around at around 10:30 Eastern time tomorrow, jump on there and show some support for Crypto Princess, myself, BC, and T.I. Joe as we're chatting tomorrow. And for me, I've changed my approach, I guess, trying to kind of meet people where they're at in a conversation ahead of time, not necessarily going to coins, what am I, investing in, that kind of thing, unless they ask me directly. So for example, I was at a funeral service, and then afterward we had the reception, and one of my nephews came up and started, because he knows what I'm doing here, and he started asking me about Bitcoin. So guess what? I answered those questions. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I had, and I think I've told you in the past, for people who watch my channel all the time, one of my buddies, XRP. You know how much I love XRP. If you're on this channel, about as much as I love Solana. But the point is, I tried very hard.
I worried for a second there. I missed the dryness.
Anyway, but I answered his questions. That's it. Other than that, it's just I go doing my own thing. I do my DCA every week, and so on and so forth. And beside my normal DCA, I'm not gonna lie, I've been DCAing into Dash. I love it ever since I got my username. Woo-hoo! That's been my thing, man. Every week, because I use it. I just use it. Anyway, that's my proverbial 2 cents. And what about you there, Badel? Yes, Badel the XRP Maxi. Yes.
I mean, how do I handle that question? I'm pretty honest and straightforward, I guess, because I have a smaller following, and a lot of the people I talk to about crypto is more like face to face, not like through the interwebs, but like, BC called me the XRP Maxi, but I was straight up honest, and I showed it on screen. Hey, my average buy-in on XRP was 20 cents. You can't get mad if I sell at 280 or 290. Dude, I got my money. I walked out and I'm smiling. I mean, granted, it took 6 years to get that, but whatever. I mean, it's the same I feel with a lot of other coins. You hold on to it for 5-6 years, yeah, you're gonna 5 or 6x. Some may go to 0, some may 2x. You just don't know. But I mean, I just feel like go ahead.
No, I got a question. Show of hands. Who's still holding bags that they thought was going to go somewhere and it's gone pretty much to 0? I'm still holding. No, maybe. I see it.
It depends.
I know it depends on what I was going to say. You better put your hands up there.
It depends on what you mean, because like my expectation of things going up or down have always sort of been secondary to other things. So it's kind of true that there are some things that it's a lot. In fact, pretty much everything I have is something that I would expect to go high at some point, and it's been a long time for a lot of them. So, but that wasn't my primary kind of thesis in like kind of using it. I was, there's a few like trying to think, like Thorchain is really good. I really like to use it as a protocol and stuff. Yep. I don't know if I expected the price performance. Here's the thing, as far as like expectations too, is I just have changed expectations over time. I actually wrote like a whole article series called "Stop Hoarding Gas Tokens" about this kind of thing. And like a lot of people, because like a lot of people just like buy something hoping it's going to go up, and they don't think about they don't think about how how this goes there. It's just like the underpants gnomes theme about do this, then collect underpants, profit. It's like there's no clear connection between how is this going to do well, and if it does go well, how is that going to go and pump your bags? And sometimes they just buy a token that just like, another one that I don't actually have any of, but I think is fascinating, is called AMP. It's the Ampera token that powers this payment app called Flexa. And I've used Flexa a bunch, and I'm doing some like business with them as well. And it's like Flexa enabled stuff is looking cooler and cooler, but the token value is down because everyone bought it and it went up, and then it just crashed. And now it's like it's going to take probably 5, I don't know, but like 5+ years to get back up there with a lot of usage. It's like the slow and steady, and the investors are, oh my god, this is terrible. And just like, well, people hoarded this gas token thing. People just hoarded this token, thought it, and just didn't understand that they were buying a massively inflated one. They should, if they really believed in its future and they were savvy, which again, I would not have been. I would not have known that until like the last year that it tends to work like this. I would have waited like until year 3 or 4 of this token until it's like flattened out and be like, all right, now I'm buying at the utility level, and it's going to, if it goes up, it's going to go up from there.
Well, now is not a bad time to, if you believe in the project as a, the utility, it's found its solid support, because that's one I actually watched because I thought it was a good technology play, but there's a decent amount that's being done with it. And that's why I just
cool.
watched the alts.
So, actually, I might have a prop again. This is one reason why, I can afford to shill things like this, because I don't actually like make any money off of it because I don't have any of this stuff. But at Consensus this year in Toronto, the Ampera Foundation or the Anvil Foundation, which works with them, whatever, they had this like whole Blockbuster video style like strip mall built in the middle of the conference, and then they were handing out these things, which are burner cards. These are like NFC hardware wallets, and but also they can pay with it too. So they give you some money on the card, and then you could just go and like tap and pay at like a virtual like photo booth and stuff, and it would pay from, again, no fiat rails at all. This is all just crypto, signing crypto transactions. So you go beep without any internet or electricity or anything. And I think they got like 1,100 people to buy something with crypto over the course of the conference, which is, it's a lot of people. And so they're just doing great stuff. And it's just, that being said, I don't know how much that AMP token is going to pump anytime soon. So just, I don't know, if you hold on to it, if you like it, I don't know.
So back about the altcoins and bags and whatever the question was from CCM is, I've lost a lot of money in altcoins. I mean, half of which were on Trade Ogre, but the value of my Trade Ogre wallet was less than $100. So if Trade Ogre never comes back, I'm okay with it. But then it's like some of the coins that I had on there, it's like, okay, I hope those coins do good, but then it's like, well, there goes half my bag.
But not really.
I mean, like, for example, like just before BTC Nashville last year, I made a good amount of money on fucking Purple Pepe. Sorry, I don't mean to swear, but I turned like 1 Solana into like 9.5 Solana in a matter of like 4 days. I think it was like 3.5 days. Like it was just over a weekend. It was like, oh, okay. But then it's like, okay, I lose $20 and $30 per these 20 other altcoins that I bought that are now worth a penny or 5 cents or sub a penny. It's like, what? I want to say it's like gambling, but it kind of is. It's like you either win or you lose. You could put $20 into 100 altcoins, you're $2,000 in. But as long as one of those goes up, you're good.
Facts. Well, I mean, we're getting to about an hour here. I want to be respectful of everybody's time. Did you guys have anything else you wanted to throw out on this topic or on anything Thailand or whatever related?
Sort of a tangent to the Thailand stuff, but it's funny, they banned meme coins and NFTs and stuff back in the day because of that kind of crazy stuff. I'm holding just the weekly space we do on the Dash account every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern, which whatever time zone that translates to. This week's is going to be about like, are all meme coins a scam? And there's going to be some back and forth on that, right? And so, and I have to, like, the spoiler alert is I'm going to be very much different from like the Mr. Unbanked, cypherpunk, living on privacy coins, all that kind of stuff. Despite that, I'm going to be the perspective of no, they're absolutely not, and I have some nuance on that. So, and if you guys want to show up, I don't know if you guys do spaces that much. If you want to show up and speak, you're more than welcome to. It's like can be up to a 3-hour space or more. So jump in at some point. It'll be a fun one, and I'm really interested in seeing these kinds of more outlandish titles tend to work well. Last week was, do we really need women in crypto? And it
Yes,
was
yes, I got part of that one. Yeah.
A ton of women, very smart women, showed up to that one, and it was a really fun space that got a little bit of conflict at the end too, about some people like,
oh, I missed the end. Oh, figures
yelling at each other a little bit, but like in a very productive way. So that was a surprisingly smart space for being such a sort of dumb, like, rage bait title. So it's going to be one of those. That's just my little shill for the week. It's just come watch.
No, that's fine. And you said that's this coming Thursday at what time?
1 p.m. Eastern. It's 5 p.m. UTC.
Okay. If you've got a link to that space already, if you've already got it set up, throw it in the private chat. I'll make sure it gets out on everything before we leave here tonight. But that's fun. Yeah, I did catch part of the one of women in crypto. There was a lot of people in that. It was a good conversation, the part I caught of it. I'm sad I didn't stay through to the end. I couldn't do it.
It's all recorded, so if you ever hate yourself and want to,
I gotta go back. Yeah,
space when you're not it's not even live. Then if you want to hate yourself that much, go for it.
Yeah, pick a day. Well, according to BC, I had the last week off, so there you go. Exactly. Kind of.
Well, I didn't see you on YouTube.
You're also in conference, working, recording, editing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I mean, more work than you would if you just went live every day.
It felt like it. I'm not gonna lie. I got home at the end of every day, and it was just like, I need to go to bed now. I was tired after all that stuff.
I mean, that video you posted this morning about the Boston blockchain, that was good. I just wish the audio and the video was a little bit better. I mean, mainly the audio.
Unfortunately, the audio on all of them, unfortunately, it's just not, again, I didn't have access to their audio, so you're hearing it through the mic. And believe me, I enhanced that. So, but it's they're not good. Even this next one I'm putting together right now, I don't know. I'm not an audio engineer. If any of you out there are, you let me know. I'll give you the audio files, and maybe you can do them better than I did. Because
I'm even better than that though. I'm lazy, and there's a tool, free AI tool called Auphonic that I use when I do in-person interviews in the middle of a busy conference, and it kills all the background audio and stuff. And it does surprisingly well for a free tool where I don't even have to do any weird presets. So
what's the name of it again? You said
Auphonic, AUPHONIC. Let me just
I got it. I'm gonna look that right up because that's what I'll use for the next one if I have to. And just so everyone knows, I just put out the link for the space that's coming up this Thursday with Jöel. So if you can attend that, although BC, you're going to have to grab that out of the private chat for your X account because I put it in here, but it doesn't go. It's not going through your X.
Oh, yep. I forgot it doesn't do that.
Oh, thank you, Jöel. Got it. I just Googled it up so I can. Yeah, here it is. I got it. I am going to be checking that out as soon as we're done here because, man, I tried. Again, I like Audacity for the most part. Audacity is a great program, and I use it for a lot of things. And believe me when I tell you that as bad as that audio is, that's so much better than what it was. I'm just saying. But anyway, so thank you for that, Jöel. Guys, anything else you got? Anybody in the chat? Now's your time. Other than that, we're gonna wrap this thing up.
I got a little quick short story about security. Now, granted, I live in a really small rural town in Illinois, so things take a few years to get out to me. But I was told a story last night by Miss Crypto Badel about these scammers that are walking around with their phone and they wave it by women's purses or guys' back pockets. And if you have an NFC chipped wallet or card, and they'll take $20 each time. And then they always go to the cashier and go, okay, well, I need a gift card for set amount. And it's always the same set amount. And so she was telling me this story last night. And I go, wow. I mean, granted, it's 45 minutes away from where I live, but it's okay. It's getting a little too close for comfort, but I'm sure if you live in a bigger city, you're oh yeah, that's old news. I heard about that 5-6 years ago, but to me, that's still something new.
But it's good to be reminded of that. Yeah, that's why you see a lot of these people with the, what do they call those? The wallet vaults or whatever the hell they're called, where you put all your cards that have the NFC capability or the chip capability in there so they can't be read.
I mean, that's what my wallet has. My wallet just has a lining in it. It's like it looks like a normal billfold. I can't see it there. Looks like a normal billfold, just has a lining in it that like deadens NFC. So
I mean, supposedly this is the same too. And it's funny because when we were at BTC Nashville, there was a guy in a wheelchair and then his buddy next to us. And I was like, babe, you just bought me this like a month and a half ago for my birthday. And the guy's using it. I was like, hey, man, nice wallet. And I whipped mine out and I showed it to him. And then we got talking. And I kind of told this story, but the guy in the wheelchair actually met Trump at Mar-a-Lago.
Mar-a-Lago. Yeah. Nice.
Mar-a-Lago. Yeah. And then he was like showing me pictures. I was like, dude, that's awesome. Like how just because this guy had the same wallet as me. And I was like, hey, man, nice wallet. Like, and then it turns out to this whole big old thing. But sometimes you just never know who you're going to run into in random places
and what conversations will transpire. Yeah,
because nobody had, well, they had like a Trump hat on, but nothing about Bitcoin or anything like that. And they were there for the Bitcoin conference too, and it was just, I don't know, sometimes you just never know who you're going to meet and random weird situations over one little small thing. But I kind of want to like, okay, so that scammer has that app or program or whatever. Like, what's it take to get that just to try it out? Because I feel you got to be able to get it somewhere, right? So, like, if I can get a hold of that and I can buy like 30 of these wallets that are, anti that, and then test them out.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, well, if it's just like a payment card, I'm sure if you have like a Square merchant thing, you can just go and like have some like official sounding business, like a gas station or something like that as your business name. And you just like put the little chip reader into your phone.
Like,
and just
the tap to pay.
Yeah. You just go whoop, and see if you can like charge someone for some gas that they don't pay for. And I don't know. I'm not teaching people how to do crime here, by the way.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I'm not saying like test it on other people, but I'm saying they'll like test it on like, use different wallets on my card to see if it would actually work with this wallet that supposedly doesn't allow that.
Yeah, they have those kind of scanners. I've seen it, and I don't remember what they're called. I'm not gonna lie, it's not my thing. But I know that they exist because they used it. There's a video. If you go to the Tangem website, there's a video where they try to use one of those on Tangem, and they can't do it. So you might want to go to it'll they show you the device, the whole 9 yards, and when they do it. So that might be your point of research right there, Badel.
But I'm full of ideas, but I don't really get much done because I got
well, there you go. And anybody who's looking for
Tangem, what I was working on earlier, and I still didn't even finish it. So I got to go back and try to hillbilly rig something together to.
Okay,
Joel.
Sorry.
I'll try and get better and not stay any more sick or get sicker.
Don't be getting sicker. That's bad. Let's wrap this thing up. Joel, you're the guest. You got the last word tonight. What would you like everybody to know that is live in the stream or going to watch this sucker on the replay?
Well, taxation is theft. Your phone is spying on you. Fiat is a scam. Live on crypto before it's too late. With that being said, I'm going to have some pizza. Thank you, y'all.
I love it.
Awesome. All right. Well, that's going to do it, Joel. Seriously, though, thank you for being here tonight. Much appreciated. And again, for those who don't know, it was like I reached out to him at 11 o'clock this morning, and here he is tonight. So thank you for that. I really appreciate it.
Well, we've had him on before. I just don't remember if it was on Crypto on the Rocks or HODL the Line. I remember seeing
it was neither. He was on for a different live stream. It was neither one of those. But all right, that's it. Unless you guys have something. What do you got, BC?
We were gonna do a giveaway last week.
Oh, I forgot all about that.
So I will just say, if you leave a comment on the YouTube video, 2 and then FA, we'll pick a winner from that. And then next week, since I said I was gonna double it up, since Link had won on your Crypto on the Rocks, I will do another one next week. So tune in next week to hear who won and for another chance to win one of these YubiKey 5C NFCs to replace your typical security with two-factor authentication, either over text or email. Makes it extremely, extremely hard to get hacked. So join us next time for that announcement.
I'm so sorry. I forgot all about that, BC, man.
Not a problem.
Sorry, man. All right, folks, there it is. I'll make sure I put this on X again, telling you stick around to the end. So 2FA in the comments, please. All right. That's it. We're going to be back next Monday. You'll get some YubiKey giveaways for that. Appreciate everybody being in the chat. And yay, another winner for Tantrum. There you go. Have a good night, everybody, and we will see you again next week. Take care.
Yeah, fingers frozen, call it ice on my grip. Wallet getting heavy, yeah, it's making me trip. Charge doing backflips, but I'm steady, don't slip. Never fold, got a diamond script, no eclipse. Wolves in the market, they circle and pray. I'm a bull on parade, charging every payday. Paper hands crumble, they just fade away. I'm stacking sats, building castles where I stay. Diamond hands, I ain't letting it go. Stacking up, yeah, I'm watching it grow. Riding waves, yeah, I'm surfing the flow. Up and down, but my faith never low. Diamond hands, yeah, they gleam and they shine. Through the storm, I just hold the line. Day and night, yeah, I'm always aligned. Crypto king, yeah, the throne is mine.